Mission Playback Case Review 1 is about to begin, operatives. One of our auditors happened to notice an odd expense for the travel and expense statement regarding Case 106. The agent thought fast and was able to use Qlik Answers to review the unstructured data in the expense statements and the structured data in the Q Division applications. Follow me into Q Division headquarters. I'm going to do a full Mission Playback debrief for you, operatives. Notice here how the auditor asked their question. I noticed an English-Russian dictionary as an expense on Case 106. Please conduct a comprehensive counter-terrorism review of the agent expense statement for Case 106, and please flag anything suspicious or out of scope for the mission, the target, or the environment, and let me know the current agent status. Well, let me show you what the end result was. It came back to let us know that after this, Case 106, the agent status was terminated and the case status was closed. The case sector happened to be about quality measures, and the case priority was medium. It went on to include additional information that agent QD0999 Trevelyan has been terminated and the case was closed. In terms of the expense review findings, it summarized all of their expenses for a 4-day trip to Stockholm, and it did flag this information. It noticed that that Russian dictionary was purchased at an oddly sounding named bookstore, and there was no real operational justification for that when it was a Swedish healthcare analytics mission, because what it was able to do was review the mission purpose, not just those individual expense statement for that item. That is out of scope on a global healthcare Swedish mission that had nothing to do with Russian operations. It also noticed that the agent purchased multiple alcoholic beverages at Cafe Pushkin, which, by the way, happens to be a famous Russian poet, and as well as a lot of wine and a celebration meal. That pattern suggests either potential compromise or very unprofessional conduct because the agent's drinking a lot. Here's one of the interesting things. It noticed that there was a celebration lunch where there was expensive food and champagne purchased. And it's questionable, not because there's a celebration lunch. Of course, our agents are going to celebrate at the conclusion of a mission. It was premature because the case had not been closed at the point that they celebrated, which is a little bit odd. In context, the Operation Amnesia, which this case was for forensic investigation of an archived calculation repositories about global healthcare. The recommendation is that that purchase does require immediate investigation because it's out of context. We can come down through now and see how everything came about, and that's what we're going to go ahead and walk through. We saw the information that was shown. We know that it's going to give us the ability to come and see any of these expense statements, review everything about what happened because it is explainable. What I want to do is walk through the reasoning instead. I want to show you in this agentic AI world how these agents work together. First, of course, we know that the answers agent is going to get involved. They went through and recognized, hey, there are both structured and unstructured information that is available, and it devised a path by which to communicate with other agents. The semantic agent got involved, so this is looking at our structured data first, and it went through and did a search for agent case status. And it recognized, ooh, you know what? I've got an agent status field, very high similarity score, which is fantastic, but I also have a case status that has a very high score. And you'll notice in our answers, it gave us the agent status as well as the case status because both of those scores were very high. goes on down through, then the data analyst agent got involved here. And what it was trying to do was figure out the plan of, hey, what is it I'm going to do with this information? Well, notice it has the current agent status. It wants the expense data. And it's looking through here what fields it has. It does not have access as the data analyst agent to the expense statements. That is unstructured data, and by now you're probably guessing what agent, or ask yourself now if you're not already thinking it, what agent would be involved in finding that unstructured data? We've covered that many times. So it ends up recommending an approach, since it's not available, to let's just focus on the KPIs and the tables that it can show the information for from our structured data. It ends up presenting its findings and comes back to the chart agent with a chart building plan of what it wants to do. It comes back and says, you know what, there's no reason to show a KPI of the case status because it's going to be 1. We don't need that. What we'd rather do is have a table that's going to show us all of the dimensions instead, and comes back with that plan. Then, as you might have guessed, the knowledge base agent is asked to be involved because we need to look at that unstructured data that was in our expense statements knowledge base. It finds that information, comes back and gives that information to the answer agent, who then compiled all of those things together to present that final answer for us. Operatives, I'm sure you agree that the ability for Qlik Answers to not only access but analyze unstructured data combined with the collective wisdom of the world is pretty powerful. Add in the ability to combine that with the information from your structured data as well, and you can certainly see why QD Vision is a force to be reckoned with. Intelligent secured operatives, remember, licensed to query, trained to question, born to be curious. 007 Dork out. Mission complete.